Hello, guys. Hello, welcome once again to another episode of coding, HTML coding for absolute beginners. Sorry for the difficulties, but today we are going to go through what we learned the last time on the first episode of HTML coding for absolute beginners, part one. For those who have not watched the first episode, please refer back to my YouTube, Gimlang. There you are going to see the first episode. So today we are having several topics and several steps we are going to take in order for you to improve your coding skills. Now, once again, this is an educational program, HTML coding for absolute beginners, and this program do not require you to have any technical abilities. You shouldn't be a programmer to learn this is meant for everyone, for kids, for adults, for those who have zero technical abilities or technical knowledge about coding. So that being said, today we're having a lot of things to work on. Today we are going to be uploading pictures on our code. Today we are going to be learning how to design the the code so that our website will be displayed beautifully on the browser. So before we do that, I want to encourage you that if this is your first time watching my video or visiting my channel, please click on the like button. Let's have an interactive um, program today. Click on the like, subscribe, and reshare this video so that many others will benefit from what we are doing here. I'm doing all I can to help share the knowledge that I have to those who are willing to learn a new skill and improve their knowledge in coding. Um, I'm not, I didn't get programming knowledge from school. I'm a self-taught programmer. I'm a full stack programmer. I can design websites and do other complex programming languages like Python, CSS, PHP, Java, and JavaScript. So, the first episode of this program, we are going to be learning just HTML because it's the basic language, hypertext, language. So, it's used to explain how coding is being done. So, after that, we are going to be moving to the next coding. So just a recap of what we did the last time. You can see from the screen that doc type HTML. So what we did here is we gave you an introduction of how it looks like, how HTMLs look like, what we need to do first before we can start any code. So this is how every website look like. Any website you visit, be it Amazon, be it Ozone, be it Whiteberries, be it AliExpress, they have a code, and the websites are all written in HTML, basic HTML language. And then they added some beauty or some animations to it with the help of CSS. So today we are not going to talk about CSS. We are going to be using strictly HTML. And when we perfect our coding skills, then we are going to be introducing other languages that can be used together with HTML, like PHP, CSS, okay, to style our design. But styling, HTML is not used for styling. It's used to draw the several platforms and the construction of the site. So, like what we did the last time on HTML coding for absolute beginner, part one, we talked about what you need to do before you start typing or start writing your code on in HTML. First, you have to indicate doc type HTML. Okay, this we use it because we want to clarify certain parameters so that the browser can be able to detect what type of language you're using. Since we're using the HTML language, we have to use that system. Although it is not a strict requirement, but I think in the modern HTML5, you have to use it. So the next line and the most important line is HTML, the left arrow HTML and the right arrow HTML. As you can see it here, when you write HTML in any word processing application or any interpreter, the moment you write HTML, it already indicates that you are using a hypertext language, which is HTML, hypertext markup language. So anytime you write HTML, you have to end it with this word HTML, left arrow key, closing it with an HTML, then with an arrow key. So anything you write in HTML from the very beginning, you have to close it here. So every code you are going to write should be in between HTML and /HTML. So HTML coding or HTML language recognizes code written in these parameters. So anything written outside of HTML or below the left arrow /HTML bracket close, that will not be accepted in the language. So the next thing is, for every browser you have to indicate the heading. So in between the heading, we have what we call the title. So the head is what carries the information that we see on the browser. So when you type www.amazon.com, the heading or the link that sends the information to the browser for it to locate the ISP or the protocol of that, or the IP address of that website, or the DNS server of that website. The title do that, and it also displays it on the browser. So the title here is HTML for absolute beginners. Okay, so that will be the name, HTML for absolute beginner. So we write the title in between. We write the name of the site we are building in between the title. Then the head is where it is being displayed on the screen. On the empty page of the browser, when you write something in between the head, okay, it displays on the browser. Then the body, the body is where all the information about your website is displayed, is shown. Like we have it here. So we have Gimlang. So Gimlang is just like the name of the website. That is the name of my YouTube channel. Then what happened next is every other thing that goes below that can be an explanation of what your site is all about, or what site you're writing about. If it's an e-commerce website, you need buttons. We are going to talk about that later on. So you need buttons that you can click to navigate different aspects of the pages on your websites. So you have the backspace, the forward arrow, the back arrow, next and previous, buy for e-commerce websites, register, and also if you look at some certain websites where you have registrations, home page, contact page, help, these buttons will be displayed in this area. And also we can put that in the head. So we are going to talk about that in details later on. So if you look at what I wrote in the body, I have H1. H1 means the length or the height of your text. So ordinarily in your home page of any website, you have H1 text, which is the biggest text on the biggest text on the page, where the name of the website or what you are talking about is displayed. So we use the H1 to show the biggest information on the page, which is your. Okay, we are back live. A little bit of interruptions. So like what I was saying, H3 we have the minimum size, especially if you use H3, you are using it to explain certain aspect of the page. So then in between what you are going to display on the first home page of your website should always show informations on the first page, or on the contact page, or even on the product description page. So we are going to talk about all that later on. So H1 is for the biggest text or the biggest information or the information you want to display boldly, or the name of your website you want to display boldly on the homepage. Then any other information that go after under this page will be displayed later on with H3. So you have to write this information in between body and the body close. It shouldn't be anywhere else but in the body. So if we run this program, you will see how it looks like. So when running this program, come below, you will see what I just explained. The H1 shows the biggest text, which is the name of my website. And don't forget, look at where the website is. The name of my website is located. Extremely left hand side of the page. So it's the biggest text and the biggest text. So the next is present to you HTML crash course for absolute beginners. Now, if you look below, if you look at this, I used H3. H3 is the medium size, I would say. Present to you HTML crash course. You can see the difference between the Gimlang and present to you HTML crash course. Then I later went down to use H3 in the other side where we have for absolute beginner. So let me show a difference now. In this situation, I'm going to be changing this. Okay, let me put something here. Let me put something here to indicate what line we are using. Let me use H5, for example. Okay, if I use H5, then I have to close it here. Anytime I'm using anytime I open a code, I have to close it with the back arrow key. That is very essential in HTML. It is very, very essential to do that. So let me just make the absolute beginner the bigger form of this. So we say H5 and I close it up. So now what this means is, let me go back and test the program to see how good we have done. If there is any error, we are going to see. Okay, now you can see what happened recently. Immediately I included the H5. What happened to the text? Now our first text, Gimlang, remains bold as the name of the website, and the next is we have present to you HTML crash course. I used H3, which is the font size of the text, and that is a little bit bigger but not bigger than the H1. So the next, what I did next is I had to include H5 for absolute beginner. H5 for absolute beginner, which is smaller than H3. So you can see that absolute beginner, you can see how smaller it is compared to what we have in present to you HTML crash course. Okay, so that is that. Next, we can also I think I can bring this down just to show you guys. Yeah, I can bring this down just to show you guys that, to make it easier for us to work on. Okay, H5. Okay, so we used H1, H3, and what? H5. So let's run the program again since I brought it down. So now you can see that present to you HTML crash course. Now understand what happened here. If you look at the code, present to you HTML crash course, okay, it's in one line, and for absolute beginner is in another line, and Gimlang is also on another line. So now what are we going to do next? We can also write, we can also use a code called P. P means paragraph. Okay. Now, immediately you write P. According to the rules in HTML, you have to show the open and the close. We call it open HTML and close. So now what I mean is, if I use the code P as paragraph that I want to write a new paragraph, I have to close that paragraph. If I don't put the /P, it won't work. So let me say this is a place to learn coding. Okay. So that shows me that I need this to be in a paragraph. Okay. Let's now test the code. So you can see that the code is showing me that this is in a new paragraph. This is a place to learn coding. We can do a lot. We can do a lot with this because we have a lot of symbols we can use to show what we need to display in our code. So let's move forward to the next. Today's program, like what I said, we are going to be, don't forget, one thing again, don't forget that what we wrote here is applicable to real life website design. So whatever code we are using here can be utilized later on. So I can also put a certain design to my code or to the background of my image. But before we go through the background, let's see, we can combine two codes. For example, we have a page here which says a paragraph here which says this is a place to learn coding. I want to add a font size of let's say H1, just to show the difference that what we are doing is absolutely working. Okay, and then I have to close it here. I have to close it here with the same H1. Okay, so let's run the program. So you can see what happened. I was able to combine two codes in one line. For example, I had the passage code, the paragraph code, sorry, that pushes the text to a new line in the page of your browser or in the page of your website. So I push the text. This is the place to learn, and I want to give a style. I want to style up the text. So styling up the text, I decided to put the font size of H1. H1, you can use any font size, but I just want to show that this combination of code is working. So when I did that, you can see what happened. This is a place to learn coding. So it's now the same size with Gimlang, which is H1 as we have it. Now I can make the code look a little bit stylish. How can I do that? I can do that by using italic. So when I use italic I, let's see what will happen. I can put it here because when I write the code from my screen, you can see that I did not put any / which is an open code, italic I. Then I'm going to close it here with left arrow / then I close it with a right arrow key. Now, let's see what will happen to the text. Let's run the program. So you can see that when I included the I italic, what happened to the code? The code now becomes different font size. It's like it's bending to the right. This is called italic. So it's bending to the right. This is a place to learn coding. Okay. Gimlab present to you an absolute course So for absolute beginner, um, that is part of it. So what is the next? We have a lot of font size we can use. We can change it to different type. We can even make what we have up for absolute beginner. Yes, we can make absolute beginner. We can make absolute beginner. Let's say B and then B close. Let's see. So what happened here? B stands for bold. So when I placed B for absolute beginner and I close it with the first slash key, it opens and showed me that for absolute beginner is what? Bold. So you can see from the text. So now, okay, we can do a lot of things here. We can do a lot of things here, but let's move to the next section where I'll be showing you guys a lot of things you can do with your heading. I think we should work with the heading first. Let's work with the heading. Let's work with the heading. We have talked about the document of how HTML is being written and where we should write it and what we should do first. Okay, so I can see Gimlang. Let me just leave it like this. So we know that Gimlang here is the heading. Okay, is the first word that will show on our website as that we show on our website. So I can use, let me just bring it here so we can show some differences. We can show some differences between the different text we are having. Okay, so I used bold here. I can use I use H1 here. Let me use let me use H5 just to show a difference. And don't forget, look at what happened the previous code that I wrote. And what I'm doing now is going to recalibrate or change the design of what is displayed on our browser. Now, on this section, what we are seeing here is a text editor that I'm using to write the code. For those of you who don't know what is called a text editor, please leave your comment below. For those who have questions based on what we are doing here, please leave your comment below. For those who want to know how to get a text editor, name the text editor and type on the text editor, should leave their comment below if you don't know. And I'm going to throw it out here that text editor, you can use any text editor. You can use WordPad, you can use Notepad or Notepad Plus, you can use Microsoft Word, you can use PyJam, you can use Visual Studio Code to do all this. Okay, these are all text editor and they can be used to write different programming language, including HTML. So now what I'm using just a normal text editor online to show you this. Now, every code that I've written here at the very top is displayed below. Is displayed below. Now you can see below we have what I have written in the text editor. This is the same way it's going to display on your browser, which is very simple. Now what we are doing here is not showing the beauty of how your site is going to look like on the browser. We are showing you how you are going to build your website from the very beginning to the finish line. So the most important thing here is learning how to design the site from the beginning. Okay, so what do we need to do? We have to check some other values we can use for the that we can use for the headings. So I think paragraphs, we have talked about it. Paragraphs is where we note paragraph in HTML by using P. the first letter of the word paragraph to indicate. So a paragraph is, everybody knows what a paragraph means in English. And if you don't know, please place a comment. I'm going to explain to you in details. Okay, so the next is paragraph. We have talked about it, and now we are going to be talking about links. Links. Okay, now what is a link? We're talking about a website link, a link that can move visitors on your website to a different page on your website, or to a website account, or to your Instagram account, to your Telegram account, to your WhatsApp, to whatever social media account you are having. So I'm going to show you how you are going to use a link in HTML. So that being said, we can now do something about this. Okay, so in this, below the page, I will simply put another key by saying, let's open a bracket and say H, let's say H, let me say H2. Okay, I'll close it down. Immediately I wrote H2 because the program is already saved and written in HTML, as saved in HTML. This left arrow and right arrow keys automatically confirmed that you are using or you're writing HTML code, like what I said at the very beginning, doc type HTML. So this doc type HTML indicates that this is an HTML language that you're writing. So every program has their style and their script or code you use. So you can use this arrow key like and / in Python. Python did not recognize it. So this is recognized only in HTML. So let's move forward to putting a link. So I will now say my Telegram channel. Okay, now this is the heading of where you can, okay, I can say visit my Telegram channel, for example. Okay, see, everything I'm writing it below or and in the middle of the body, because I want this text to be displayed on the page of my website. It might be on the home page, the contact page, any page. So what we are learning now, we are learning how to write the code and use it and see how it is being displayed on the browser. So we are going to also do a live demonstration. I mean, what we are doing now is a live demonstration. I mean, we are going to be building a live website to show you how it is being done properly. But this is applicable. You can do this right now and also display it on your browser, on your phone, or on your PC. It's going to work perfectly. Okay, now let's see how we can take a link. So, so what we are going to do next is to use a link. To use a link, we need to use what we call the left arrow. Okay, it's a little bit confusing, but this is how you attach a link to your website, and anybody who clicks on the link will automatically be redirected to the page. So you say A and a space href. Okay, href is equal to, then we put a yes, that is a quotation mark. Then you now show the link to the website, like for example https, okay, then semicolon, just a normal URL for a website. Okay, you can be you can put, let's say we can just even use Google, www. I have my website gimlang.com. okay, and you close it up. Okay, So when I do that, I have to put the left arrow key. So immediately I put the right arrow key, you can see what happened immediately to the side. It closes the link. So A is the A href is equal to the name of your website in full details using the HTTP protocol, secure protocol, and colon forward slash 2 times with www.gimlang.com. That is my website. Automatically, you have to close it. If you don't close it with the left forward slash A and the right arrow key, it will not work. So this is how it's going to be. So what will happen next is I also want to show that this is my website. So in between this, I can say this is my website. So I can write this as the name of my website. Or you can say click, okay, let me say click this link to my website. Okay, so click this link to my, now look at what happened. I wrote left arrow A href equal to then the address of my website. Then I close it with a right arrow. Then in between this word, I wrote this, click this link to my website, and then ended with this. What will happen is what the link you wrote, the link you wrote to your the link of your website that you wrote will not be displayed. It is only recognized by HTML that is a link. But you have to show something that will bring an indication that is a link to the people who visit your website. You might use a button in this case, or you might use a text, because I decided to use a text that this is a link. Click this link to my website. Now, let me show you what I'm trying to say. So we have to run the program to see. So the program is being run. Let's go back. You can see below this text, you can see clearly where I wrote visit my Telegram channel. Then below, my website link is not shown. It will never be shown because it is only recognized. It's an embedded link. Only will only be seen by the programmer or the backend programmer. But for those visiting my website, will have to see the text that I wrote. Click this link to my website. If you click this link, it will automatically direct you to my website. So every time you are writing a code, you should always bear in mind, you have to put a text that will show the visitor of your website that this is a place they can click to visit your website. But on the actual code, the link you created here, will not be seen by the visitors, but it will be seen by you writing the code. So just in case there are any questions, please don't fail to contact me. So you can as well click on the page. Okay. Next here, what we are going to do next is we are going to be checking, since we have concluded on the link, we are going to be doing other stuffs that will help us improve our website. So the next aspect is images. Images. Yeah, we can definitely include images on our website. Okay, before we include images on our website, I will want us to just try to change the background of our website. Now you can see that the website has a white background. And if you go to different websites, you will see a different color fonts, different colors from red to blue to orange to pink to yellow on their website, depending on what page you visit. So what we're having here is a plain white background on our website. We can change this color. We can include a different color on this page. So to do that, let's see how because to do this, we need to indicate that I want you to know that all the text we see on this screen, Gimlang, present to you HTML crash course for absolute beginner. This is a place to learn coding. Visit my Telegram channel. Click this link to my website. Now, all my text is displayed on the body, and every text that you see on my website on this page that we're working on now is the body. And this is where people will visit and see our information. And we can change this color by using it, by going to the tag we have body. You can see, all the texts are written there, and that is your page. That is your website page. So we can go to the body and say style. Ordinarily, don't forget that, like I said from the beginning, HTML is not used for styling. HTML is used for the building of the website. I mean, foundation, the structure of the website, what you need to show in the website. Then the beauty will come when you use CSS. So we are going to talk about CSS later on. So what we are doing now is just showing you that we can still use HTML to beautify and design our website. So body style is equals to what we do here, background. Okay, background, because we want to change the background of our text of our page. So we say color, semicolon. Okay, semicolon. Now we can put any color. We can say, let's say we can say red. For example, red. Okay, and close. Now, when you do this, you are telling the word processing software, or you're telling the computer to recognize that your background of your page in your website should be red. So you're going to see how this works. Okay, you can see clearly from the below you can see clearly that we have successfully changed the background of our text of our website. So the website has a red color, and there is something that is very special about this. If you look below, you can see that click this link to my website is underlined and in a different color to show you that that is a link. So that is a eye-catching for any visitor on your website. It shows them that this is a link that they can go to your website or go to any other location to get more information about your site using this link. So we can put the background color to any color. So I come again, I repeat, we changed the background color or the page color of our website using this code, and we place this code on the body. So body style is equals to background color semicolon red. So we can change this red to something different, like maybe a powder blue. Okay, powder blue. So what I did here, I changed the color to powder blue. You can use any color that seems fit for you. So we can say powder blue, and then you can see that when I wrote this code, I did not write anything below the body. I mean, left arrow / body close. I did not write anything. I just only allowed this to remain. So let's run it now and see what will happen. So when I run it, what happened? The color of our page, our website page, changes to powder blue. So you can see the differences here and how we can really affect our code. So yes, I can say now, let's say present to you HTML crash course. Okay. Um and I want to okay, and I want to make it look very nice. And I want to make it very nice. Okay. Then in this case, for absolute beginner, I'm going to change this word here. Benefits of learning. Learning HTML. Okay. Then okay, so I just did that. Then when you can see this is the old information. Now let's see what happened to the next information. So when I run the program, what happens? It changes. Now look at what happened. Giblang present to you HTML crash course for absolute beginner. Benefits of learning HTML. So below we have benefits of learning HTML. So I can say here, benefit of learning HTML with Gimlang. Then I can simply remove this and say and just write anything I want to, like saying become a website designer in less than 2 weeks. Okay, so let's update. Now look at present to you HTML crash course for absolute beginner. Benefit of learning HTML with Gimlang. Become a website designer in less than 2 weeks. Okay, visit my channel. So this is how it's going to display on your website, on your browser. Now let's move forward. Now we have learned. Let's make some recall about what we have just done. What we have done here is we have um, opened up a word processing application like WordPad, Microsoft Word, or you can call it, or you can use Visual Studio Code. Then inside of it, we saved the file with the name. For example, you can see my first website .html. So if you don't save the file with the link or the file type .html, your browser will not be able to understand that that is a website. Browser understands only HTML language. So when you save it as HTML file, it will automatically be saved to be able to open up in your browser. So the name of your website, like for example, my website .html. So the file you have opened in Microsoft Word or in Notepad should be saved in name.html. Then the next thing is what we did here is we started the code by writing with the left arrow which is very essential because HTML demands you to use these certain rules. Left arrow, exclamation mark, doc type, HTML, exclamation mark, /. So this shows you, this tells the browser that you are using HTML code and script to build your website. Next is we have to open up the browser by saying HTML, left arrow, that is very essential. You have to use the left arrow HTML and close it with the right arrow. Then the next part is we are supposed to use, after you write HTML, then you have to close it below. That will be the last thing. Left arrow /HTML, you close it. So every code you're going to write will be in this HTML. Everything you're going to write should be in between. If you write it outside, it will not work. It will not be recognized by the browser. So what the next is the head. Like we have the head, the body, and the legs. So we have the head. The head is where we place the title of your website. The title should be in between the head, always. So what we do is left arrow, head, close, title, left, title, close, HTML, or the name of the site you want to write. Like I wrote here, HTML for Absolute Beginner, and close it with a /. You have to close it at always. So the title is in between the head. Next is the body. The body comprises of the text you are going to display on each page of your website. So this text, we always have to put it in between the body. So the body, then the /arrow key that closes the code, that makes the code recognized by your browser. So in between that body, we can write a lot of text explaining your website or your services or what you are trying to do. And this text, we will also, what we'll do is we can style it up. But remember, like what I said, HTML is not used for styling. HTML can be used with different programming language like PHP, CSS, and Python, and so on and so forth. So HTML is not used for styling, but HTML is used for the background, the structure of your site. So, and you can also use it to create a link like what I explained in this video. So we change the background color of our body by saying body style is equals to semicolon and quotation, background, dash color, semicolon, powder blue, which is the blue color that you saw below. Then you have to close it with the arrow key as you see on the screen. So the next is the H1, which is also the height of the text. We can call it the font, the text font, or the font type. So H1 is the biggest size of your text on your page. So you will use H1 to display the heading of your text, the name of your website on the first home page. So the next is P. P is called paragraph. It's used to paragraph any text you are using. So we can paragraph a text. We can move the text to the left-hand side. We can move the text to this middle. We can move the text to the right. It depends. So I'm going to be showing you all this later on. B is for bold, to make it thicker, to make the text thicker. So when you use bold, the text will be thicker. Then I, as you can see, become a website designer. I is italic, makes it moves the text to the right. I mean, it bends the text to the right. It is a design that is very beautiful for certain areas, especially if you have a link you want to show, or you want to capture a very important information on your website. You use italic to do that. So H2 is another font size that is lesser than H1, which is smaller than H1. So you can use it in subtitles on your web page. So like the next is the link. To write a link is very easy, like what I displayed on the screen. A href is equal to quotation HTTPS, which is your website link, the hypertext protocol, secure protocol with the S, to show your link. So if you have a website or you have a Telegram channel or anything, you can put it there, and that will refer people to you. Most of the time, links are used to direct people to a group chat, a forum, a discourse channel. So use link for that purposes. Now, after you write the link, don't forget you have to indicate what the link is all about, because if you don't do that, people will not be able to click on the link. And again, you can use the text to show that is a link to a particular website, maybe Instagram or Telegram. You can write it there. It must not be click this link to my website. You might use any name. So, and you can also use a button to show this, and that we are going to be doing that in our next explanation. So, when you do that, please remember that you have to close it with the /A. That is all. So that is all you need to do. So let me run the program once again. Yes, you can see the code we just wrote here is what is displayed on the browser. This is now our browser. Below is our browser, and this is now our word processing software, like a Notepad Plus, Notepad, or Microsoft Word, or your Visual Studio Code or PyCharm. So you can see all the after effect, which is the result we got from our code. So this is not the best website, as you can see, because we are starting up. I'm showing you the different levels, different ways you can start building your site. But when we deeply go into this program, because this is going to be a long series, an episode of how you can become a programmer from absolute beginner to professional level. So this is the second part of what we did the last episode, which is the part 1 introduction, and we will have a lot of episodes coming up. So if this is your first time, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification bell, so anytime I'm online, you'll be able to get the benefits of this program and learn and improve your skills, because technology is the key. It's not part of our day-to-day activities. And from what is happening, technology, artificial intelligence are taking over. So for you to be able to make a living and benefit from today's development and technology, you have to be um, you have to have a knowledge in programming, in technology. It is not hard, it's not a difficult thing. I think with time I'm going to have a full course. I'm going to be writing a book on how you can learn programming language from no knowledge of computer programming, nothing, to a advanced level programmer. And it's very easy. So if there are any questions, confusion based on this, please place your comment below. All links to my channel, to my YouTube channel, to my Instagram page, to my Telegram channel, to all the links that I have, will be placed on in the description below. So if you want to get in touch with me directly, my links will be there for you to get in touch with me. That being said, let's see what we have here. So we have done a lot. Please subscribe and let us push this video upwards so that the algorithms can be able to benefit us, and also spread out the information to people who are willing to learn to be programmers. Okay, so we have done color change. We can change it to anything. You can put any color you want. Now the next section will be let's see what we can do here. Okay, let's see if we can add a button. Let's add a button. Okay, let's add a button. I think this will be the last we are going to do before we close this episode. So I want to add a button. Yeah. So before I add a button here, I want to add a button here to show you how you can include a button to your page, to any part of your page, especially if you're trying to build an e-commerce website, or a website that you want people to click for them to move to a different page on your website, or to be redirected to your social medias. Now, how can we do that? To get a button, it is very easy. So to get a button, we can simply do this. I want to use okay, let me just write a name first. Let me write a name. Instagram. No. Let's say Telegram group here. Okay, Telegram group here, for example. Now, this is just to show that below is a button. So below here, I can now indicate the button by saying button, then I close it. Immediately I close it. You see what happened immediately? Because HTML recognizes the word button as an English word, button. Then the next closing code will be /button. So that means anything you write in between button and /button will be recognized by HTML. So you can say click here. Okay, click here. Now this is all you need to do. But remember, when I wrote this code, I wrote it in between the body. So all information that we want our visitors or customers to see on our websites should be written in between the body. Now we have done this. We have to now run the program. So when we run the program, we are going to check it. Now you can see below we have a button. If you click on the button, click here, it moves. It has information. Click here. So you can see easily how you can include the button on your website. So first we use a text, which is click this link on my website. So in the place of a button, you can use a text to direct people to a particular group chat, a particular social media account. But in this case, I decided to use a button below. So we have two options. You can use a text or you can use a button. So I think most of the modern sites today, they use buttons. So click here. And even you can also say buy now. It depends on what you want. You can change the text anyhow you want and say buy now. For this is for e-commerce websites. So buy now. Then after clicking on it, what happens? You can see it changes to buy now. So when you click on the text, when you click on the button, it moves, it changes. It shows that something. So we can also beautify the button. We can make the button looks beautiful. We can put color on the button. We can move the button to the right. We can move the button to the middle. So it is so easy. It's so easy to do. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. This is actually my first live stream. I hope you enjoy it. If you come across this video, please share, like, place a comment. You can place your request on what video or what section you want to learn. What do you really want to learn? And hopefully I will able to, what kind of programming language you want to learn, or if you have any questions based on HTML, please leave a comment below. I'll be glad to answer it. So that being said, subscribe, like and share, and I hope to see you in the next part 3 of HTML coding for absolute beginner. So I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.